Time now for Utah's most accurate forecast with Alana Brophy. Weather rates certified 11 years in a row.
It's windy out there. I know you know what I'm talking about. If you step out, just blustery, and we knew it was coming, that wind advisory in effect, but it's warming up temperatures. That live look, ooh, we're starting to get a little bit of moisture on the camera here. Wet weather starting to fill in over into Willa County, but those southwesterly winds bringing in warmer air. 61 in Erta. That's also the case in Salt Lake. Second time this month we've hit 60 degrees, but even went above it today. Upper 40s in Logan, 50s in Provo. This is why we're looking at rain as this cold front initially comes through, but that's going to change these temperatures. Feeling closer to norms, 58 in Blanding, 67 in St. George. It's actually above average for Salt Lake, but it doesn't feel that way. You step out and the winds are just unforgiving. Live look down there at Washington County, and I've been watching this camera and it's been bumping around. You can see it's moving ever so slightly. This Utah Tech camera showing the cloud cover that is moving in, but it's blowing dust, which is noticeable there in St. George as they sit in the upper 60s. Clock some decent wind gusts here. Look at these numbers in Salt Lake, Delta, Milford, Cedar City, St. George. Very gusty conditions, only amping up as that cold front gets closer and closer to the metro area. Satellite radar shows it progressing into the west desert, and we know the winds ahead of it are going to be strong. Behind it, we get some moisture, but along that frontal boundary, there's a chance of some thunderstorm activity. Lots of moisture potential with this. Atmospheric river remnants, stop me if you've heard that before. We watch as we get through Friday, as that moisture fills in and funnels into the Beehive State. Now you can see exactly where we get the highest totals by the darker shades of green, and that includes the mountains, the Wasatch, the Uintas, the Central Mountains, and the Southern Mountains, and those are the areas that are now underneath that winter weather advisory. We won't see it hold on as long in the Southern Mountains. This storm system actually favoring the north. I know, a little bit different here, and it's because of the cold front that's going to pass on through. Look at it, well defined by 6 p.m. It moves in, and that really by 9 p.m. triggers a steady stream of precipitation. Heaviest precip expected as we get into the overnight hours, but then a break on the way. We've got rain from Cache Valley into the Salt Lake Valley, and then snow for our mountains, and some mixed precipitation in places like Utah County. Turns to straight snow, especially in those bench areas as well as mountain valleys just around midnight. Colder air coming in following the front, and that will allow for the precipitation type to dance around a little bit. Valley floor, Salt Lake Valley, still going to hold on to rain. We eventually get cold enough tomorrow for some snow showers, but look at this. By midnight over the I-15 corridor, don't want to be traveling tonight. That impacts eastern Utah by 6 a.m., but we still see some showers in the north. We do get a break in the action overnight from about 2 to 5 by 6 a.m. Here comes that northwesterly flow bringing in and tapping into that moisture potential. We do see snow potential in the Ogden Valley where they're going to pick up snow and the Wasatch back, as well as Cache Valley, and then reaching into Salt Lake County. We watch as that moisture kind of becomes a little more widespread. Heading into the afternoon hours, gets very focused into central Utah and the southern half of the state while staying active in places like Vernal and over towards Moab. So showery conditions hold on. We get another disturbance late Thursday into early Friday morning. That's important to know because the Friday morning commute could be impacted in northern Utah, which you see here, cold enough air with snow shower potential. This is 6 a.m. Friday morning. So if you have to travel or commute, just a heads up, could be a little sloppy with that spring snow. We're used to that routine. The system will eventually push to the east as we get to Friday afternoon. Quieter for the weekend. How much snow is coming? Well, let's zoom in and take a look. You're able to see in the north 1 to 2 feet in the cottonwoods, but anywhere from a trace to 4 inches. Mainly 1 to 2 along the Wasatch Front, but that 4-inch mark in central Utah over portions of I-15 towards southern Utah and near Kanab. Southern mountains anywhere from 8 to 16, but they're going to be on the lower end with the Wasatch and the Uintas getting more. Temperature's going to drop 30s and 40s for tomorrow. We're sitting at 60s right now. What a change. 54 in Moab, 54 in St. George. Eastern Utah has the chance of thunderstorms tomorrow. St. George showing rain for your Thursday, drier conditions, and another storm system to start next week. That also impacts the Wasatch Front. We go Monday, Tuesday, and possibly Wednesday. Yes, mixed precipitation and temperatures significantly below average. Enjoy Saturday because that's our dry day.